So today I have a cozy book haul, cozy book library haul. So don't mind the little post-its. Apparently you're supposed to put post-its over the scanning codes on your library book. And my library sticks 2 stickers on there on the front. I'm pretty sure we could find some space on the back to do it, but no. I stick them on the front. This is going to be the 3rd time that I've recorded this video, so my head is about to explode. Something is going on with my Blue Yeti, or not my Blue Yeti, my Blue Yeti Snowball. I think the mic is fine. It's something like the cords are kind of coming loose a little bit. 2 times now, so probably 6 hours of work total, like 3 hours and 3 hours. I've had to trash all my videos, which would be hell already, but the fact that the past couple weeks, past almost 3 weeks, me and my husband have not had a day off together, so I've been waking up at like the butt crack of dawn to record, to fit this in. I'm like losing sleep, and then the video's not working, and I'm like, what, are you serious? Are you serious right now? Mercury is definitely in retrograde, but shouldn't it have had it's had its fun with me, you know? Spit me out already. Okay. We'll do some light housekeeping, and then we'll get into these books. If you are new here, welcome to my nonsense. If you are old here, welcome back. Oh, geez. If you're new here, please consider hitting subscribe, and if you are old here, go double check and make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like if you like, leave a comment. It could be anything related to the video. It could just be a hello. It could be a few emojis. Anything as long as it's cool, as long as it's respectful. The notification bell. And as always, I will link my tip jars in the description. No pressure whatsoever, but any dollar amount is very much appreciated. And that's what allows me to continue to make content. All right, cozy mysteries. Typically, I love mysteries, but I like grit, and I like noir almost, you know. But like I said, I just wanted some like cozy Hallmark without the bad acting feels for this fall. And maybe even I'll just continue it right on through Christmas. We'll see. Now the first 2 I won't be reading. In fact, I probably won't be reading any of these on their books. I'll be reading them on the Kindle. These sound really good, but they're not exactly up my alley. But they sound really cute. It is Witch Trial and Witch Hunt. I think Witch Hunt. This is the first one. It's weird because they're different sizes. And they're part of a series. You'd think they'd be the same size, but whatever. Kate Conti. And this is about Violet Mooney, who bought a crystal shop in like a small town. Her grandmother just passed. She's got an orange cat named Monty. Monty, and the author's name is Kate Conti, so it rhymes with her last name. And not everyone is thrilled with her business. The disagreeable town councilwoman Carla Fernandez picks a fight over Violet's voodoo shop. So she's got this. People use the word Karen because they're scared to use the C word. She's got this C word lady up her arse about her voodoo shop, which is just a crystal shop. And then, as if that's not enough, it says, oh no, it says she picks a fight with Violet over this voodoo shop. The two have a very public confrontation, and then Carla ends up dead. Of course, Violet's the number 1 suspect. That is Witch Hunt by Kate Conti. The reason that I won't be reading this is because they do have like a little paranormal element, and that usually just doesn't do it for me. Not that I don't believe in the paranormal, I do a little bit. It just doesn't, like, I'm not scared of the paranormal, really, so it isn't scary to me, you know? I don't know how to explain it. It doesn't scare me. It doesn't thrill me. And then Witch Trial is the second book. And again, we're at the crystal shop. Now this one, her like estranged mother and sister pop up out of nowhere. I don't even think she knew they were alive. And they're helping her with like some kind of spirit got trapped in a jar or something like that. It says determined to solve, there's crimes. Violet taps into the power, so she's using like her spiritual power to solve crimes in this one. So that's when I knew that it was going to be more paranormal. I don't know what the first one is, just the second one. But this is a Witch Hunt by Kate Conti. No, this is Witch Trial. Witch Trial. That was Witch Hunt. So it's a series. I think there's a few more too. All right. I want to read this one. And it's little. I might be able to read this one physically because it's so little. And this is Charlene Harris. That's a car in the woods. And then there's like a little pearl necklace hanging from a tree. It's called Shakespeare's Trollop. Shakespeare, Arkansas is home to endless back roads, historic buildings, colorful residents, and the occasional murder. What murder? It's a TikTok joke. It is also home to Lily Bard, the local karate expert cleaning woman with a particular knack for finding skeletons in closets. But when Deidre Dean, the local woman of ill repute, is found murdered, her promiscuous lifestyle leaves more than a few suspects. Sorry, my kid's talking in the other room. And being familiar with Deidre's dirty laundry could make Lily the next Shakespearean to die. This one I did read. I didn't read it on the book. I read it on my Kindle. No. I read this one audio version. Really good. It's called On What Grounds by Cleo Coyle. Essentially, it is a woman who owns a coffee shop, so that's cozy, right? She owns a coffee shop, and I think it's her that discovers it. Somebody discovers her assistant manager was doing her duties outside, taking the garbage out, and they find her completely knocked out. She had had an accident or worse outside, so this coffee shop owner is concerned. She's like, was this an accident? Was this my fault? Or something more sinister? Is somebody out to get her? Is somebody out to get me then? What's the deal? So it is called On What Grounds. Claire Cozy used to manage the historic Village Blend coffee house until she opted for quieter pastures and a more suburban life. But after 10 years and a little friendly cajoling from the owner, a fresh pot of Jamaican Blue Mountains was all it took. She's back on the grind, serving coffee and solving crime one cup at a time. Okay, that was already... That was 4. Okay, so this is the problem with... This is why I wake up at 4 a.m. to record, or 5 a.m. Impossible. It's impossible to record when my toddler is awake. It's almost impossible to record when anybody is awake. Even the teenager, adults, it's impossible. This one is Fiction Can Be Murder. It is by Becky Clark, and it is also the first one in the series. It might even be a debut. Life becomes stranger than fiction when Charlie's latest novel inspires a real murder. Mystery author Charlie Russo thinks the twisty plots and peculiar murders in her books are only the product of her imagination until her agent is found dead exactly as described in Charlie's new unpublished manuscript. Suspicion now swirls around her and her critique group, making her confidence drop as severely and unexpectedly as her royalty payments. The police care more about Charlie's feeble alibi and financial problems than they do about her panicky claims of innocence, so they're just gaslighting her. To clear her name and revive her character, she must figure out which of her friends is a murderer. Easier said than done, even for an author who's skilled at creating tidy endings for her mysteries. And as her sleuthing grows dangerous, Charlie's imagination starts working overtime. Is she being targeted too? And the cover just looks so cozy and cute. And yes, it says first in a new series. It also has that rose petal matte finish that I love on books. All right, 3 more. What is this one? Oh, I want to read this one. I want to read them all. If I can't even record, I'm not going to be able to read, so it's like I got to pick one or the other, you know. A Farm to Trouble. Maybe I can find the audio of this one. Also, first in the new series. Since I can't get to all of these, I'm going to write them all down because they're definitely, besides those witchy ones, on my list of musts. This is by Amanda Flower. Coming home to a rundown farm, gossipy neighbors, and a shady investor is a lot to handle, but a murderer on the loose is the final straw. Shiloh Bellamy put all her eggs in one basket when she ditched her big city job, returned to Cherry Glen, Michigan to save her family farm. But just as the ink dries on her contract with a much-needed investor, she cracks in her plan to overhaul Bellamy Farm. The cracks in her plan to overhaul Bellamy Farm quickly appear. It seems there's bad blood between her father and their new partner, and with her cousin belittling her every effort and the folks in her hometown treating her like an outsider, Shiloh isn't quite sure where to turn. That's when the investor is found dead at the farmer's market, and Shiloh is at the scene of the crime. With her father as the prime suspect and Bellamy Farm's reputation on the line, Shiloh must track down the killer or risk finally being put out to pasture. I need a drink. So yeah, I already recorded for like 3 hours this morning to have to trash all this stuff. So like my throat is just hanging by a thread right now. It is. 2 more. This sounds so good. This series sounds so good. It's called Cheddar Off Dead. This is the first one. A cheese shop mystery. In this fun, cozy series debut, cheesemonger Willa Bauer discovers that her new home in a small Sonoma Valley town is ripe for murder. Something here stinks to high heaven, and Willa knows it's not the cheese. Cheesemonger Willa Bauer is proving that sweet dreams are made of cheese. She's opened her very own French-inspired cheese shop, Curds and Whey, in the heart of Sonoma Valley. The small town of Yarrow Glen is Willa's fresh start, and she's determined to make it a success. Starting with a visit from the local food critic. What Willa doesn't know is that this guy never gives a good review. He's a Yelper, a typical Yelper. And when he shows up, nothing goes according to plan. She doesn't think the night can get any worse until she finds the critic's dead body stabbed with one of her shop's cheese knives. Now a prime suspect, Willa has always believed that life's problems can be solved with cheese. Why not? Why can't we solve all life's problems with cheese? Well, she's never tried to apply it to murder. I mean, if you're out of options, put cheese on it. A delightfully relatable cheesemonger, a handsome detective, a string of salty suspects makes Cheddar Off Dead a winning start to what is sure to be a deliciously addictive series. That comment is from Bree Baker. Get it? A cheese book, and then this lady's name, her author name, is Bree Baker. Weird, right? And then it says a fresh, complex mystery with a fabulous heroine. That comment is from Kate Conti, the writer of those witch books. So everything is starting to click for me. Like I'm only a few weeks into this genre, and I'm starting to get familiar with the authors. Cheddar Off Dead. Like I just want to throw these. This is the kind of book you just want to have in your bag and go sit somewhere with like a hoodie or a hoodie and some blankets and read all day. Some crisp air, a nice beverage, cheese, a lunch bag full of cheeses. Cheddar Off Dead. Last one, and this is like a tropical cozy. Deadly Feast, and then you can't see it, but there's like a cat here. That's right by the turkey, which is kind of gross to me, but whatever. And then this book has recipes inside. So does On What Grounds. There's recipes in these. That just makes it all the more cozy, right? This one is not first in a series. This one is 9th in a series, but I don't think it really matters. It was the only one my library had from that series, I think. So it is like a holiday Thanksgiving, but coastal vibes at the same time, which I think is adorable. It's like, yeah, you guys, in the warm climates, you don't really get the leaves changing as much, and you don't get snow. But we can tell when your heart's in it, you know? It's a vibe. It's a vibe. It says, Thanksgiving is nearly here, and Key West food critic Haley Snow has just one more assignment to put to bed before Key Zest magazine. before she gets to celebrate with her family and her police officer fiance Nathan Bransford. Then, just days later, wedding bells will ring if death doesn't toll first. The sweet potatoes and stuffing will have to wait when Haley picks up a distraught phone call from her friend Annalise Smith. At the last stop of a seafood tasting tour run by Annalise, one of the customers collapsed dead. With the police on the verge of shutting down the tour and ruining Annalise's business, Haley can hardly refuse her friend's entreaties to investigate. As if wedding jitters and family strife weren't enough for Haley to worry about, there's a crusty pastry chef. Martha Hubbard, whose key lime pie may have been the murder weapon. But did she poison her own pie, or was she framed? As the hours to Turkey Day tick away, the pressure cooker is on for Haley to serve up the culprit on a silver platter in the deadly feast, national best-selling author Lucy Burdett's tempting 9th Key West food critic mystery. So yeah, this is 9th. Lucy Burdett. And I want to read the whole series. I don't think I have to start the first one though. Like I said, I won't be reading this physically anyway, so I can start anywhere I want because I get all of my books. 90% of my books come from Libby, and I move them over to my Kindle. So let's see. Let's see if the third time is a charm. Let's see if this actually ever makes it to the channel. If you are still there and you are watching this, you watched it all the way to the end, thank you so much. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, rest of your evening, and or a good night's sleep, and I